Wow.
Why are we all blubbing? That's all I've ever wanted to do, is to help people. And watching that, and I think of my friends have just come into my mind then, and my family, my family that I'm close to, has just come into my mind, because I can't sit here and say that I would be here without them, because I wouldn't. And the feeling that I get when I know that I'm going to be helping other people, it's just, it's the most comforting feeling in the world. And there's so many people out there in the world that might not even have access, everyone has access to the internet, near enough everyone has access to the internet. And if each of us keep sharing our story, little by little, less people will feel alone, and more people will feel convicted to speak up about what they've been through. Because
welcome to the very first episode of Searching for Truth Uncovered, with my co-host Kim Roberts and my most recent guest on Searching for Truth, Regan. Hello, both of you.
Hi.
Hello. So I'm really excited about this podcast and exploring what we can do with this. And Regan is here. Now, Regan, you started on a journey, obviously, with Kim. That's not the only reason Kim's here, but a lot of the guests that are coming through have come via Kim. And then you've obviously heard about Searching for Truth, and we've done our interview. Whilst it's not live yet, it will be in the next day or two. I wanted, before showing you the trailer for the first time, because I know quite a long time has elapsed since the interview. It's what, about 3 weeks?
yeah, I think it's coming up to about a month, actually. I think it's more closer on the month side, to be honest.
Yeah, it'll be worth it, because you'll see there's a big change going on with my channel. So I'm excited about that. But I'm interested to hear. I know. I can't wait for you to see it and for us to see your response to it. But I wanted to understand a little bit about your journey, get into Searching for Truth, because there's a lot of survivors of trauma that don't get this far, don't get to talk or share their story, and are not in that space or anywhere near it. And I just wanted to explore a little bit about your journey. Obviously, when people see the video, they're going to know a lot more about you, but just your journey from getting to Searching for Truth. How did it happen? How did it happen that you're here?
So I think I explained to you in the interview that I had kind of, I want to say not really ran out of options with the NHS, but I wasn't really getting anywhere with the NHS. So I went and found my own counsellor, and then my counsellor obviously directed me to Kim, and she's just said to me, look, you'll go and see this woman and you won't need to kind of see me again, and she will deal with everything. So I went and had quantum therapy, I think it is. Kim will have to tell me if that's right.
That's right.
Had quantum therapy, and then I went back because I needed a soul tie cutting session. I think I've said it correctly. Because I had a trauma bond with an ex-partner who I speak about in the interview. And basically from doing that, Kim then was just like, I need to put you in touch with Donna. Donna does a podcast, Donna does etc. I think that you two kind of need to talk, and me, I think it'll be beneficial. And then lo and behold, about a couple of weeks later, it wasn't even a couple of weeks later, it was a couple of days later, it was on the phone for about an hour and a half. Yeah,
oh gosh, that phone call was amazing. I know that we've got definitely loads more podcasts to do. But so was it like an absolute, I'm going to do it? Or was there any kind of apprehension about it?
No, there's no, I think for me, talking and sharing your experiences is always a good way of healing, because when you do that and you open up, sometimes you might even speak to people that you didn't have a clue had kind of been through something similar, or they may be more understanding than what you think. And I remember when I was younger, my dad one of the main things my dad told me from being young was, don't run away from your problems, because they will always run faster than you and they will always catch up with you. So face everything head on. And I've obviously had a couple of times where I've spent time in hospital and I've tried to go on, and I've been on NHS waiting list and this, that and the other, and I kind of just got to a point where I was just fed up of just waiting and being in kind of in limbo and knowing that there was things wrong with me, but not kind of the NHS kind of not having the resources to kind of get to the bottom of it. And the way that their treatment is structured, it's not structured to actually really get down to the root cause issues of what we go through. So because of that, and obviously I had a hospital stay in May, and coming out of that, it's actually weird because I was 33 at the time, and I made all these appointments the day before I turned 34 because I was adamant in myself that I was not going to take these issues into my 34th year of being on this earth. And I wanted to go into this next phase of my life, or this next year of my life, being more well-rounded and not feeling like I was going to get pulled back down and these issues were going to keep coming up. So for me, it was being proactive and actually taking control of my own mental health rather than waiting for people to pass me from pillar to post and pillar to post. And it's funny because within me doing that on my own, I know this sounds like such a cliche, but within me doing that on my own, I feel like I've been healed and I feel like I've been cured. And I feel like I've spent most of my life in therapy. Ever since being a kid, I've had like psychiatrists involved, and no one's never got to the root issues, or they've never been able to kind of really get to the root causes. And I think a lot of it as well comes down to the fact that we do suppress a lot of what we go through because it is too painful. And I needed kind of, and obviously I went to my account, and it's funny because I've not spoken to her in so long. Since I had my last soul cutting tie session with Kim, I've not needed her because the issues that I've had, the ones that I was suppressing, because I dealt with so many things that were at the forefront, but I still felt like there was something that was holding me back. And I'm kind of open to anything, and I kind of was just like, I need to do something for myself, and I kind of need to put my hand in my own pocket, and rather than sitting around waiting. And I think a lot of people do that. They sit around and they think, oh, it'll be too expensive and this, that and the other. And I'm not going to mention how much Kim's prices are because that's Kim's own business, but it's not expensive. It's the best. The money I spent on that session with Kim, I would waste in a week on rubbish. And I wouldn't even notice it, and I wouldn't have anything to show for it. I was smoking weed heavily. I was smoking heavily, and it's gone.
Yeah. And this is what I'm picking up a lot. You know what, Regan, from yourself initially, and then also the next two guests that we've got coming on for Searching for Truth, is that there's a lot of deep-rooted issues that have just been sort of suppressed for so long. And also I'm picking up as well from a lot of people that are coming via you, Kim, is that they've tried a lot of other things before.
Yeah.
And they obviously, maybe they have worked a little bit, hence they're still on this sort of road of wanting to get somewhere. But ultimately, and I can speak for myself as well, it's decades of dealing with and I hope you are ready, Kim, because the testimonials that I am getting for you.
Walking angel, that woman.
Oh, bless you.
Oh my gosh, it's like you see the physiology light up like you wouldn't believe in the interview with you, Regan, but also with the other two interviews as well. It makes me quite emotional when I think about it, because I have an understanding and a compassion for the journey that souls are on with trauma. I feel it, you know. So when I see this light up and especially with you, Regan, oh my gosh, and even you were like, I think you caught your face. You were like, do you see that? You were like, honestly, it's beautiful. So I do expect your phone to ring, Kim, because this is the God's honest truth. Even at church the other week, like Sunday just gone, I was like, let me give you Kim's number. You need to go and see Kim because this woman, she suffered trauma. Then there's another couple at church and their daughter's going through trauma. I'm like, when she's ready, send her to Birmingham, send her to see Kim. She'll sort her out. She'll walk out of there a new person. And that, I suppose that's testimonial in itself, that
that I can't speak for anyone else. I can only speak for what you've done for me, and I can only say what you've done for me, and the fact that I sing your praises to everyone, and how much within them 2 hours you changed my life. And I can't actually sometimes and sometimes I think when I'm saying it to people, I must sound like I'm a bit doolala, because when I say in that 2 hours that I come and spent with you, or however long it was, when I walked away, you changed my life. And I even say this to Donna, even people that follow, and I've said it to you, even people the following day were saying your anxiety's gone in your face, you don't seem anxious anymore, you just look free. And I on anyone who's gone through trauma, I'm like, go see Kim, you need to see Kim, you need to go and see her. And that's the truth, because what you done for me was what I had been trying to do for so many years, and I was just not getting to the root cause of anything.
So Kim, on that, I'm going to come over to you now for a moment, because well, first of all, let me give a proper introduction, because I really am hoping that yourself and potentially Regan as well, any of the guests that come on that feel the vibe with this, to be a co-host, you know. But initially, obviously, it's you. So I'm going to do a very professional introduction now for you, Kim. And it's crazy. I was just saying before, it's quite mad that I've got your business card, and I reached into my bag for a pen and I've got it.
I've literally sat down and Kim's flyer is on my dressing table.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful.
I was actually thinking, I'm going to do all this all professional, and I need to introduce Kim properly. I must get onto a website. Oh no, that's for whatever, you know. Anyway, we won't go there with the website, but yeah. I'm going to have to get you to, tell me how to do it properly, you know. And then I didn't even know I had your business card with me, because I'm not in the UK anymore. How lovely is that?
Just wicked.
So, Kim, so you are a quantum therapist. You work in energy medicine. I've got here, you're a life coach, NLP. You do hypnotherapy, EFT, which is emotional freedom tapping, MR, come to that in a minute, mindfulness, very passionate about that, soul plan consultancy, and you also do what's called, you talk about this, I think, in the interview, Regan, biomat treatment. In fact, quite a few of the people that have come through have talked about the biomat. So that is, I mean, there's a lot. That is the lovely Kim, who is here today as my co-host. So Kim, I believe there was something very special with our connection, because that wasn't that long ago, was it?
No,
it wasn't that long ago. And the way that this process is working with you now, like knowing about searching for truth and just smoothly mentioning it, I just wanted to talk to you about that. But before so, I feel that it's so meant to be that we connected. Now, when you look in such a short space of time, how it's flowing through. But how does it work at your end? When you're talking about searching for truth, or when you mention it, because I think you and I have got this feeling of it is a part of the healing journey, isn't it? To share, to speak out, it's part of the releasing, isn't it, of the trauma. So that's why it feels so like a glove fitting, me and you getting together. And so, yeah, how do you, do you sort of gauge whether or not, that you would mention searching for truth? How is it that you're managing to pass people through to me?
Well, let's just put it like this. We're all on a journey, aren't we? Okay. And there is no such thing as a coincidence. And I believe from a therapy perspective, firstly, nobody comes across my path unless they're meant to come. And 9 times out of 10, they are people like Regan who have been in the system of whether it's psychiatry or hospitalisation or whatever it might be, mental health services, CAMS and adults. And I might as well say my background is a psychiatric nurse, as well as everything you can think of, from women's service to forensics to this to that, working with child and adolescents as well. And I think it's probably best to start here, okay, so you can sort of get a good feel of where I was to where I am now, because
Yeah.
what happened was pretty much I became disillusioned with the mental health services for the same reasons as Regan says. I was sick of seeing the revolving door, and you know, revolving door of people looking potentially like they're getting better, but they never really do, and they end up coming back in, or the medication gets increased, X, Y, and Z. And I then, you know, from a soul cry that went out to the universe was, there's got to be more. There's got to be more to offer humanity than this, and that's where the journey really started. And
thank God.
so,
I'm just thinking, thank God that yeah.
So what
that there's
I've come
people like you.
So I undertook different types of things that come across my way, and I am a quantum therapist. Pretty much that is my major work. Being a life coach supports what I do with the quantum therapy, but 9 times out of 10, the majority of the stuff that people come for is the quantum therapy. I have put together another therapy called deprogramming, because having the quantum therapy is one thing, which is life changing, and I can't say how it's going to change somebody's life. Like, you know, after Regan had left that office, I had no idea how quantum therapy was going to change her life, if at all, because one cap doesn't fit all. But I knew when Regan walked into the office, I mean, I saw and felt lots of things, didn't I, Regan, without you even telling me anything about herself, and that was like phenomenal. So when I did pick up on certain things with Regan, I think Regan was a bit gobsmacked as well, but it was all in a energy field as such.
Well, this is what, sorry to interrupt you there, Kim, because I want to come back to you and really understand all of this.
Yeah.
But it's your intuition, it's your magic, I feel, because that's what's coming up from guests that I'm talking to that have come from yourself. It's you are so intuitive, and knowing you in the short space that I've known you, I feel like I've known you all my life.
And do
do you know what I mean, Regan? It's like, and that's a gift. That is your gift, I feel, because I'm obviously a coach and practicing, but you what? Sorry, Regan.
Like a very Mother Earth kind of vibe. Like she kind of, it's like a soul connection. It's like you've kind of met her before in a different kind of environment. I can't really. I'm trying to explain it, but I don't think that I might be explaining it right. But it's like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like I feel like my soul already knew Kim before I knew Kim. It's like my soul and my energy knew that I needed Kim before I did, and it's like you say, it's like I've known her forever. It's not like because I've not really spent that much time with her. I've not really spoken to her that much, but it feels like I've known her my whole life. It's kind of like that mother figure that was kind of missing.
Yeah.
And you know what the beauty is, even if we went another 15 years without ever seeing each other ever again, we would pick up from where we last left off, because we are tribe, we are soul tribe, and we're here for this reason, to find each other, to help heal. It's all part of the journey. Just meeting you, Donna, is part of the journey. My passion is healing trauma, and your passion is also doing the same thing. So that's why we've met, and look how this is all unfolding now. It's wonderful.
Well, it is. And I remember we were in a group, you and I, that's how we met. And I put a trait, I think I might be making this up or just believing this is true, but I think you saw maybe a trailer of mine because I put in a searching for truth. And did you just see the alignment? You know, I've been more and more finding my purpose is towards trauma. And then I'm getting more survivors of trauma coming forward, and then I'm on this training for trauma, and then I meet you, and then you realise that I'm talking to people. I mean, it's just so aligned now. It's just beautiful.
You've got such a passionate energy, and that so radiates from you. And again, it was like cha-ching. It was like, you know, two magnets coming together.
Yeah. And it is, and it's for. I feel as well, what's really beautiful about our relationship, Kim, is we're talking about collaborating and sharing and kind of working with energy, and on the same level of like what's ruined and got in the way is money and greed and competition and got to have this and got to that. And I'm just thinking, you know what, in this crazy world there are some really amazing souls doing amazing things. About competition, let's get together, because there's work at hand. There's people walking around that are going to spend the next 20 years affected by the trauma event that's happening right now, that they don't even realize, but it's now, and it will be the 20 years after. So we need like an army of people, and it's not about money.
Competition.
Money doesn't even come into it, because if you're following your purpose, what you need will come. You need will come. It will follow through beautifully, more so than any, manifestation for money could ever happen. So that's another reason I feel really aligned. And everyone I'm meeting, yourself, Regan, I think we're all singing from the same hymn sheet here, aren't we? With regards to helping and working on this now.
This is the time of the realization that you can't just treat the mind without treating the body, without the spirit, the soul. We're a unique mix of all of those together. It's the mind, the body, and the spirit. You can't treat one without treating the other. And unfortunately, this is where big pharma comes in, and it's all about the medication, and let's dumb down the senses. And I can't say that totally, because it does help, with some people. Medication is good for a certain time with some people, for whatever, but not forever. It's not an immediate cure.
I think just puts a lot of the time when you give someone medication, because I was on medication for many years, it's like putting a plaster over a cut, and you're not getting to the root cause of the problem. You're just kind of putting a band-aid over it and hoping that it'll fix itself, and you're not actually treating the issue. So yes, while they may help for a short time period, they don't help long term, because then eventually what happens is you become susceptible to that medication, then you need to go on to a stronger medication, then you become susceptible to that medication and go on to a stronger medication, and you're not getting to the root issue of what's wrong.
No, and I think it's very easy for the doctors now, the GPs certainly in the UK, to just give a prescription for antidepressants. I mean, and these are young 18, 19-year-old girls that are self-harming, and there's a big, I'd say that's the pandemic going on right now. Is the young adults that are harming themselves and going for anxiety, and doctors are very, obviously with all, with what's going on, even less resources, just take the pills. There's I can't imagine there's any real digging on the root cause. But anyway, you know what? I'm getting excited about how we're talking with each other, because I feel as though we could even have a Searching for Truth Uncovered, just the three of us talking about certain things and sharing our views. And I think it could work really well. So, and this is a pilot. This is just going with what feels like the right thing to do. But let's just see. This, though, is about you, Regan. So it's almost like you are the first of the guests to come forward. And I will say, I've mentioned this to Christopher, who I know you're in touch with on Instagram, and he thinks it's a fabulous idea, because it's a follow-up. It's a follow-up on the journey, on the sharing, and it's putting it out there in the open. And that's what I'm learning about trauma. Trauma isn't trauma if it's out. If it's out and it doesn't fester into anything worse if you get it out. So I think to continue this journey of sharing and how it feels to have shared, what to expect, because after you've shared, for some people it's going to be so big for people that certain people in their lives would never have known those things about them before that video comes out. So they've got to deal with that. They've got to be able to, what tools have they got to deal with those emotions? They've had, they've got had enough emotions going on all their life anyway. There's going to be a whole new ones, like what other people think, or maybe I shouldn't have done it, or have I made a mistake, or what can I do? And these are massive
they were actually
triggers.
Some of the emotions after we finished speaking that I had, and then I kind of, you know me, I believe that if people didn't want me to speak on my truth, then they should never have done these things to me. It's part of my story, and if anything, and like I say, is I did have a couple of these anxieties, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but then at the same time, you should be held accountable for what you've done. And if you know that you have made someone feel like that, or you've been abusive to someone, or you've done these things to someone, and then you see it back and you watch something, then address yourself and make changes on yourself. Because for me, what's happened to me is, and I've said this to you before, our weaknesses are our biggest strengths. And I did have a couple of emotions. They didn't last long. They lasted for about 5 minutes, and I was like, forget you. You've never thought about me in that way, because if you did, then you would never have put me, I would never be dealing with this trauma, and I would never be going through these things. And it's all part of my story. And like the title is Searching for Truth. It's all part of my truth. And I've not spoken, and I've not lied. I've not said anything that's not true. And actually, I think that sometimes, as I hate using this word, but as victims of trauma, which we are, we're survivors, but we are also victims. I think we do get in that mindset of, oh, well, what if I upset this person? So what if you upset that person? That person shouldn't have never have put you through what they put you through if you didn't then want, if they then didn't want to be upset, because them being upset for 5 minutes or 10 minutes is nowhere near how you will feel, how you've been feeling carrying it around for years. So then actually afterwards, after I had those, and I think it's quite natural to have those feelings that you might upset someone, and especially being an empath, which I am. But then I actually when I step back, I was very freeing, and I've been very excited, and I've been putting little things up on my Instagram, and I've always been quite honest with what I've been through anyway. And there's loads of people who have been like, I can't wait to watch this, and I'm so glad that you've done it, and we can't wait to see it. So actually those 2 minutes of niggling doubt about an abuser who doesn't really deserve my compassion or my time doesn't weigh up to the people that in the long run I'm hoping it will help, and the people that it will reach and things like that. So for me, I think it's a natural thing to have, though. But then everyone's not got my backbone, and everyone's not got my resilience, and they don't think the way that I do.
They haven't. But what's coming through my mind with this resource here that we're evolving is maybe they can have your support if you're on here regularly, talking about that like that. Then that, I feel, is what people need to hear. It's like at the moment they could be on their own in their own head, and they aren't maybe so far on with the tools that they've got. They might not be. So these things, I just listening to you talk, I think someone could listen to that and think, you know what? Yeah, get back in check, sort myself out. But they haven't got that. Can we get that? I mean, I love the idea of having that, a form of that resource here, and that evolving to that. For guests.
Well, I'm up for that. I'm always up for helping people and helping people on their journey and helping people heal, because it doesn't also heal them, it also heals us. Talking heals us, and it puts into perspective what we've been through. And I think I mentioned this to you before, and I think that if I can deal with my life and that conversation, the interview that we had didn't even cover half of it. And I think that if I can get through my life and I can get to this point and I can find these resources and I can do all these things, then there is hope for absolutely everyone. And I know that we all deal with trauma in different ways, but I think that a lot of people, when they do hear my story and they do hear what I've been through, they think, how are you so well-rounded, and how have you not fell off, and why aren't you like this, and why aren't you like that? And if that would have happened to me, then I would have been like this and I'd be like that. And actually, like I said, a lot of things that obviously certain things happened when I was an adult, but most of them developed when I was a child, and they developed because of adults who knew better did bad things. I was a child. I will not carry around their burden and their shame. It's not my guilt. It's not my guilt to carry.
Brilliant.
And there's just so much fire and power in you. I think when I came
Sorry,
off,
I get dead passionate.
don't ever apologize for that. It's like listening to you, I just feel that there will definitely be a lot of people that will be like, yeah, you're right. Actually, I'm going to stand in my power, because you have that energy around you, oozing out of you when you speak. And that's what comes out of the interview as well. It's very, very powerful. And I'm really excited about where this can go insofar as supporting, because it's not just some of the things for some people is, it may not be that it's any adults in their lives that have done something to them. It's just the fact that they didn't know what had happened to them. So therefore, they're like having these like maybe aunties and uncles that thought that their childhood was just totally innocent and lovely and full of love. And now they're finding out for the first time that actually they were abused. And so they're now like, oh, I'm really sorry. This, you know, that's a trigger in a way, like coping with that, being prepared. I know, Kim, you can probably do a lot of input when we're talking to guests about this and opening it up, so that I would love guests to come on, watch their preview, which is like what I'm going to show you now, but then also feel that when they leave here, they've got some extra tools that they didn't have before to go and deal with the next part of their journey. So hopefully they're still feeling confident to come back and share even more, and come back and maybe see you again if they need to, Kim, you know, just to continue this journey, not feel like I'm not doing that again, you know.
I think as well, one of the biggest things for me is the fact that I went and trained in, I obviously done my level 2 in psychology. And even when I was doing that, there was a lot in there that I already knew, that I knew wasn't right. But actually then getting that certificate and doing that course and going through that, and then actually realizing that how I was felt about trauma, and then knowing how trauma affects children, this, that, and the other, it kind of gave me a bit more conviction into knowing that I didn't do anything wrong. And it was only a short course, it wasn't very long, and I think it was about 17 weeks or something like that. And it's something that I recommend to people, if they've gone through trauma and they're on a journey themselves, that they should try and understand the mind and understand why we look at certain things the way that we do, and why we take certain things the way that we do. Because I think from doing that course, actually, I think when I did finish that course, it did trigger a lot off in me, which was then why I needed to come back and see, not come back, why I needed to see yourself. But it also put me in very good stead to know that what a lot was going on in my mind was my mind, and it had nothing at all to do with me, and it was the effects of what I had been through.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And thank you for that, because that is going to inspire people to look at that course. Because I know Chris, who I spoke about earlier, was really excited to come on. I did an interview with him, Kim, a few months ago. He studied psychology as well. I'm studying NLP, which is helping me to understand my programs that I've been set since I was 4 or 5 years old. It's having that knowledge, isn't it? So you can almost separate what you thought was just all you and bad in your head, actually put it over there and look at it and go, actually, no, it's not.
And knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah. Kim, I'm aware that myself and Regan have spoken a lot. Is there anything you want to say on what we've spoken about before I play the video? Because I know you've been writing, you're probably thinking, I want to say something about, obviously I'm going to play the preview soon, but we've spoken a lot about you, but not to you.
No, it's fine. One of the things I just wrote down here, Regan, is that trauma support lead coach. That's what I'm seeing for you.
Donna, how funny is it that she's just said that? Because honestly, last week I said to Donna, I want to train to be a trauma support coach. That is one of the things I want to do.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, you're meant to be doing it then, because I wouldn't be picking it up otherwise. I think your inspiration, you're born for this, Regan. Nothing that we have gone through is going to be wasted.
Yes.
Nothing, and we go through things to help others. Not that I'm saying all those things should have happened, okay, to any of us. So, I'm excited.
Can I just say that I got chills running through me then when you were speaking. Then I get in that a lot at certain moments.
I can actually really see how the three of us can actually really work together here, not just on the set, but maybe putting on some events. And I think for the people, Donna, that are going to come through your platform, through your channel, I think Regan would be a good person to, I don't know if that, you know, well, you're saying, you know, support coach, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, let's look at maybe, you know, birthing that,
getting what we're talking about put into practice, you know, actually in a process that's beautiful, that's healing and sharing. It's a part of that wonderful process. That's just, you know.
There's a saying, Donna, right, that when the students are ready, the teacher appears. Well, it's exactly the same. When I said yes to this call on this spiritual journey with quantum therapy and working with energy and trying to understand, you know, that I'm more than just this physical body, you know, when I realized that and said yes to the call, then I don't know from 1 week to the other where people are going to come from, because I don't advertise, but whoever comes is meant to come. And it's going to be the same thing with, you know, searching for truth, uncovered, you know. People are going to, if the people that are meant to give their testimony, their breakthrough, you know, there's no such thing as a breakdown, there's a breakthrough. Do you know
I like
that. So, you know, we're the voices in the wilderness. You know, how many people actually feel like they're drowning in quicksand because of their trauma? How many people can't even, because of the guilt, those cycles of guilt which we learn from when we're children? You know, we're not born guilty, we're born clean. And there's everything within ourselves. There is striving, the soul essence of who we are is striving to find herself or his self. And one of the beautiful things that, you know, I hold to, which is sort of like my anchor, my core, my diamond in what I do, is that each time a soul walks into my clinic or my office, I get really excited, not just for them, but for the earth, because each time we help a soul to heal, we heal Mother Earth too, because we're all connected. There's, you know, we're all one consciousness, and, you know, we're connected to the earth, we're connected to the, you know, the stars. The whole galactic thing is bigger than we could ever know, and we are doing our part. So, you know, even right now, the fact that, you know, there are three, you know, here, us three, is no coincidence. So each word we speak, everything we feel, is actually now creating what is going to be unfolding. So,
Regan, you could just listen to Kim for ages, couldn't you?
I could, you know, I just fall into, honestly, I could just listen to her for it. Oh, I could. She needs to do like meditation or some kind of tapes or something, because I could just listen to her speak forever. I could. She is so wise.
That's already on the list of things. The guys that are helping me with Searching for Truth, the Brandon, and also working with me on meditation. Mindfulness is a massive tool for trauma, and I'm very passionate as a mindfulness teacher about that and meditations. And I will just say on that, there's obviously not, I was thinking there's not going to be always a guest on Searching for Truth Uncovered, and when there isn't, I just know that there's really some powerful things that we can talk about. You've just touched on some things there, Kim, that I think are really interesting to explore. And I actually do, I might be wrong, but I think a lot of people out there now are wanting to explore this too. and they're realizing that actually this system that we're in, and that actually you can get out of it, and if you get out of it, there's a whole world on the other side.
Absolutely.
That's freedom. And
absolutely. And we've woken up at the time what we've woken up. Some of us have been awake for a long time, and some are just waking up. And there are those still to wake up. It's like being born. It's like being born again, really. And your eyes are open for the first time, and it's like, oh my God, you know what I mean? And the walk can be a lonely walk. So those that wake up, when they wake up, it's the appropriate time for them to wake up. But they're going to need people like us.
Yeah.
They're going to need that. So
they are. They really are.
I'm excited, Donna, about, I'm excited about all that's going to unfold, and loving it.
Right. You two have just already taught me so much, and like I feel like a sponge whenever you both speak, and like I just absorb it all. Like, what can I do to be more like these women? Like, what can? And I just love it. Like, I just love it.
And Regan, this is what I'm saying. I've written down here, trauma support lead coach. So let's create that.
Yeah. I'm down.
Yeah. And that inspiration. And
I'm so excited. Like I feel like a kid at Christmas. I'm not gonna lie.
I love it. And this is the thing as well. With that inspiration sometimes will be challenged. And then sometimes you get your up days and sometimes you get your low days.
Of course.
But you need the both. You do need to go down sometimes, because
you need to go down to come up, and you also need to have those. You just said then you don't have breakdowns, you have breakthroughs. And sometimes I feel like when your energy has been zapped and things have been taken away, and you do have those moments of, like, I think the word solitude kind of just comes to me. I don't know if it's the right word. But you have those kind of days where you feel a bit like, it's always a learning curve, and there's always going to be something from it like that. Actually, you're going to learn in that moment, and sometimes you actually learn more in those moments than you do when you are at the top of the mountain. You learn more when you're climbing the mountain, and it's a continuous journey. Like, people say and I am great at the moment, and I've been great for a very long time, and touch wood, it continues. But there are days where sometimes I do still feel like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed and this, that and the other. But I take those days and I take that time to kind of really do a little bit of soul searching of, why am I feeling like this? Well, why is this mood come about? And I don't want people to think that oh, you come and see you and then life's great, because life is great, but I'm still human, and we're all still human, and we all have down days, and we all have weeks where we could feel a bit crap, and our moods are, and our energy levels aren't hitting where they should be, and that's just how we are as humans. And I think it's knowing how to take those moments and be able to sit in them uncomfortable times and sit in them uncomfortable moments, to realize then that when you come out of it, you would have learned something from it, and you can actually go, oh, actually, I even need to change this, or I need to evaluate this with myself, so that it doesn't happen again. And then if it does happen again, those periods don't last for as long.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of people, sorry, Kim, just say this, like, just a lot of people will really feed that advice from people that they can relate to. Because it's like listening to the likes of you, or to someone who comes on Searching for Truth, and they're saying that, it's like, because we know that when you get really low and really down, it is hard. It is a hard place to come back from. And I've certainly felt sometimes, not so much now, where I can understand why you keep going down. But it's like hearing other people speak the way you're speaking, Regan, other people that have been through a journey, okay, not the same, but a similar kind of traumatic journey, and they're talking about bringing themselves back up, bringing themselves, and the tools that they've used. I think there's so much power in that, because there'll be doctors and there'll be family going, come on, pick yourself up. Why can't you pick yourself up, but your brother can? No understanding,
No No compassion either.
Yeah, and then, but maybe I think a lot of family, you know, like with drugs, I know with alcoholism and drugs, the family are just like, you know, oh, they're the waster, they're the there's no, yeah, there's no understanding it. It's tough when you're down, but I can testament to it as well. When I've come up from being down. I've never just plateaued and then come up. It's always been I go down and then I'll come up. It's like the further I go down, the further I go up. You know, like when I've been really, really down, like really, then it's like shit. Quite soon after, I'm like, okay, now I get it. Now I get
you
why.
Have like you get like a bit of an epiphany moment, and you kind of be like, that's why I've gone through that, and it's like everything kind of clicks into place.
Yeah. And that's hope, man. Just talking about this right here, right now on that is hope. That's driving hope to people that are feeling low, right? Yeah, definitely. And from you, Regan, just power. Listen, I am going. This is it. We're coming to an end. Maybe this is how we should do it. So it's like you've got to hold on and listen to the whole of the interview before you get to see the preview. That's like you, Regan, yourself, which is like, it must be hard. But the viewers as well, they might be thinking, oh, come on. Mind you, by the time they're watching this, they've probably watched the trailer anyway. But anyway, yeah. They would have done actually. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to ask you to put yourselves on mute. Oh, there's the video there. You see it there? Regan? You see it there? She's just like, just come on. Right, okay.
I get on with it.
I know.
Again. I'm solid in knowing that when I was younger, the abuse that I suffered wasn't my fault, and it was adults who should have knew better. So now that I'm an adult and I'm speaking out, if you never wanted me to speak out and people never wanted me to speak my truth, then those things should never have happened. The abuse with me started very, very young, and it just continued and continued and continued. Even though I knew I wasn't going on holiday, and I knew I was never going home again, and I didn't understand why. I just thought, why have I just got that emotional? I didn't understand why I was being sent away, because at that time I didn't realise that I hadn't done anything wrong. I hadn't done a single thing wrong. I had just started talking and speaking out about the abuse. Nobody, not one adult said to me that was wrong. No one. And even at 4, if a 4-year-old's coming out with them things, that you best believe, if I hear a 4-year-old saying stuff like that, I'm telling you, no, that's wrong. Adults don't do that, or this shouldn't happen. And that was never explained to me. And because that was never explained to me, that then allowed men then to abuse me sexually my whole life, because I was never able to say no. From off the bat, I've only ever known chaos. I've only ever known people who say that they love you to be in and out. I never knew. I've had to find stability. I've had to figure out what stability is, and figure out and learn by reading books, by reading blogs, by writing blogs, by sharing my experiences with other people, that what I knew was chaotic, and it wasn't love, and it wasn't stability. And the reasons why, when I would have stability, I would then be chaotic, because that was all I knew. And if things weren't in chaos, I would have massive anxiety, and I would have to do something to create chaos, to create those feelings. And I've always been very honest and open about my mental health, because I think that that's the only way we're ever going to end the stigma, and we all struggle, and it's about knowing that. And I am one of them people, if I can live my life and I can go through what I've gone through in my life, anyone can. If I can deal with the abuse that I have gone through in my life, I want to be a beacon of hope for others.
Talk to me about Kim, because that's how I've been introduced to you.
Oh, see that smile.
I just see
that woman has changed my life. So I'd gone and had quantum therapy with Kim, And she basically, what she does is she goes round your body and she removes the trauma. She removes the shame. She removes the guilt. She removes all those things that are put there by adults who have abused us, who have led us to have trauma, and she replaces them with love and care and kindness. And she changed my life. She changed my life. I do speak with conviction and I do speak with truth, because so much has been taken away from me in my life that you will not take away my truth and you will not take away my power to help other people and make a change. I knew it'd be an emotional wreck.
Oh, Regan. Wow.
Why are we all blubbing?
Oh my gosh. That's powerful.
It's powerful. I've obviously seen it before because I was putting it together, but to watch that with the two of you,
It's just you know, it's just powerful, isn't it? The energy.
I never kind of, when people tell me that I have this energy around me and they tell me all these things, you can't see it in yourself, so you don't get it. And to know where I was and to know all the hard work that I've done, and then to see myself so confident and to speak in such an elegant, well, it's not really elegant, but to speak with, to speak like that and to speak in a way that
Conviction. You speak
to speak with conviction.
Yeah.
And to know that, and to just look at that person and to think that that's me. That's what I've done. That's what I've taken, all that pain and all that I've been through. And I'm just, I can't explain. I'm a bit blown away because I've never seen my own aura before, and I've never seen what other people see, and I've just seen it, and it's like I'm so proud of myself, and I'm so happy with the fact that I've done this and I've shared, and yeah, I'm a bit taken aback.
It's a bit, yeah. Well, just take your time. Don't have to say anything else, really. It's now, I think, out of most of my guests, you are pretty well equipped for this, to the point where I actually want you on here as a co-host to help others going through it. So that's, but I do know, but it's still a journey. We still have ups and downs. We've just talked all about that. You're going to go on forth and share something on Instagram as well, where I know you've got a following already. So you've already got like quite a supportive following, haven't you?
Yeah.
And so this is, I don't know. I just feel that this is just a beautiful journey for yourself, but also for you to really be on this ripple effect of encouraging other people to,
that's all I've ever wanted to do, is to help people. And watching that, and I think of my friends have just come into my mind then, and my family that I'm close to has just come into my mind, because I can't sit here and say that I would be here without them, because I wouldn't. And there's been times where they have, especially my cousin Elite, where she's cried with me on the floor, and she's not a crier. She's not one of those type of people. And I kind of do this for them as well. And I kind of watch that, and I kind of know how proud they're going to be of me. And they're going to, and I know that they're already proud with all the work that I've done, but I know that them hearing me, I know that them seeing that version of me is something that they've helped me work towards. And in a way, it is me. It's me giving back and me helping those other people who are struggling and who might not have my life's not been great, and my dad didn't always get it right, but he done. I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for his guidance and that continuousness that he showed me in my life. And I owe a lot to him, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be this strong, woman who's confident, who speaks with conviction, who just wants to help other people be better and wants to heal other people. And watching that, it's kind of just shown me all the work that I've done kind of just wrapped up in 3 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I just thank Kim as well, though, for introducing us and actually putting me in contact with you and kind of being the catalyst in putting all this together, because if it wasn't for Kim, we would never have met. And I just want to thank Kim for that, because by doing that, she's opened so many doors, and I found great friends, and I honestly, I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, Regan, bless you.
Yeah. It's just a beautiful thing. There's the three of us being here and how we've all met up all very, very quickly, but it's like magic in the making. God, magic. It's just, it is honestly, it's so meant to be. It feels right, and I will follow through with what feels right, and always be looking for the truth in everything. And that is how this has evolved. That's how we're all here, through looking for truth and love, and that is what is here right now. So it's beautiful. Thank you very much.
Can't wait for the next one. Can
I just say as well, Kim, like, so in the description for Regan's video and the next two videos, your details are being left. I need to discuss with you what details they are, because with your website temporarily, but with this as well. So you know, I think you're gonna get a lot of inquiries, to be honest.
We're gonna heal some souls,
which is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a lovely thing, and I feel really, really proud and pleased and brilliant about being a part of that, being a part of knowing you that's doing that, and being in training mode myself, and for Regan to be inspired, and will eventually be working in trauma. Got a tribe of building here for the right reasons, for the good of the people. Cool. Right, I am actually going to go now, ladies.
Thank
and I'm
you,
gonna go and speak to you all separately on however, but thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Please take care of the parents.
Yeah, will do. Take care.
Lots of love.
See you.
Bye.
Love to love.
Bye.
Bye.